Sensing identity came as an inspiration from working within the movement fundamentals paradigm and unpacking what did the term selfhood really mean for about 21 years. And so after this kind of culminating 21 years of teaching movement fundamentals in the Studio One here in the Center for the Arts, I started to realize that the practice was developing this sense of one's own artistry, and thought about that in terms of a term, selfhood. And then when I wanted to apply to the Nena Amundson Professorship, I started thinking, well, how can we unpack that selfhood? And I thought it's through identity, but it's not knowing, it's a sense of understanding who you are, and that who you are is always being and becoming, so this present state. And so then I thought, okay, sensing identity is the theme, but what does that mean? And then came up with this applying movement fundamentals in search for self-care, selfhood, and self-agency. A lot of women before me received the professorship, and I was inspired by their work many times. And then I saw it come out during March, so the COVID semester, where we were all sent home. And I had a very different amount of time on my hands. And I thought, it's my time to do this. And especially if I'm interested in this sensing identity and selfhood, that is essential to well-being. And her work is about women, healthcare, and giving them agency and wellness. Specifically, she did it more through sports, golf. She was a golfer. But she also was just really interested in promoting women's health and well-being on all levels. Yeah, sensing identity came together actually when the Nena Amundson Professorship provided me a platform to put out what the 21 years of research has been doing. Also, when John Elabuni was able to collaborate with me, I knew it was the perfect timing to do this work after COVID, that we were back in person. And I handpicked the cast, and the people that said yes, I was super excited to work with. Really powerful, expressive bodies, diverse bodies, and brave, courageous bodies that were willing to unpack their own stuff, right? The matter or the material that is inside of us, this invisible stuff that makes and shapes us, and bringing it to form. And how did it function in their life? Also, I was really curious about the emotional atmosphere, like, in a way like clouds, or how the weather moves, and that relating this identity, this sense of identity, to how our atmosphere is within, and how do you bring form to that, whether it be through the body, through imagery with Jackie Urek's impressions, music, and then story of kind of what movement fundamentals has been doing for 21 years in an academic arena.
To saving yourself before losing it all.
Directing versus collaborating is distinct to me, and I love to direct through collaborative, communal experimentation. Through that trust of creating a safe space for you to dig into what formed and left deep impressions from your birth to your age today. I started to see that material, and that was when I could go, okay, now we need to see this in lines. And then 12 looked great in this room, but when we transferred that practice to the stage, it was too much, and so we narrowed it down to, at the most, seeing 4 stories happening at different times, for example. But I come in with an idea, and the artists create the movement vocabulary, and then we shape that together. Kind of the guts of the dance part was based on what we ended up calling 12 constellations of our forming identity. And then I thought, I need to do that as well. I need to also excavate myself. And so I had 47, but I'm probably 3 decades older than them, right? Going into the stuff that felt dark or say, not good, because we really worked on not judging anything, but just beholding it. What is it? What's it have? What's it bring up? What's it look like? So it's not good or bad, it just is. Going into the stuff that really felt wronged or hurtful, or you really didn't want to go there, actually when you went there and gave it its full expression, it became really healing. And you start to then let go. I think it's a culminating chapter here, and it's a beginning chapter to work with artists of all mediums, kind of returning back to what I did before I came to Luther, the nonprofit work with Black Earth Collaborative Arts. And this was like an incubator for the movement fundamentals paradigm and curriculum, but now I have an interested listserv of about 325 individuals. And so I'd really like to focus entirely on the Movement Fundamentals Institute and those bodies of people that I've been working with. It's a transient environment in college, and I'm a relator, so I like to go deep with a few people, and it's been really hard to do that, but I have close connections with alumni from 21 years, and I dream about going back to those bodies and working with them and making work and having the work seen on a larger scale, not through the academy, but within the community. Yeah, I could imagine going into communities and working in all different performance spaces, site-specific to theatrical stages, but I could imagine doing work in hospitals. I could imagine doing work in schools, like where you're really working with people in multiple spaces, multiple continents, but through this same movement fundamentals paradigm. I have been asked to write this down several times, and my answer is when I'm 80, I think I'll start writing a book. So I still need to do the practice and the work in the real time. And maybe that book is going to be a different form, I don't know, right? The chapbook is the beginning of multiple, probably chapbooks. Voices of embodiment.
My soul's been bleeding for a long, long time, and all my dreams have escaped my
Sensing Identity was my 52nd evening length work, devised, collaborative devised work. And so it brought me back to my first one, you know, just thinking, right, oh my gosh, it was with a poet and a painter and 3 dancers and a musician, right, you know. It's like, oh, wow. It's fun to see that come together. It keeps the integrity of each medium, that it can stand alone, and then we come together. We're 2 individuals then collaborating versus one is overpowering the other. Or, I mean, that will happen naturally, you know, in communication or conversation, but the rose-colored glasses between the Olivias, both of them wanted me to choreograph and push them, right? And so I choreographed that on my body, and then when it's like, oop, you know, they couldn't do that. Well, what would you do with this, right? And they could do that, and it was evocative, right? It's like, ooh. But it was off of Kyla's, right? Kyla's concept. We didn't listen, we didn't put it to the music. You know, I just kept forming it, and when we, okay, I think we got enough now, let's see how it fits with the music. And I just love that. That's an experiment, right? It's just, or like Cage and Cunningham, right? They always develop their work separately, and then they just put it together.